She is the founder and director of Springwind Healing Arts. She's a certified spiritual life coach, cellular memory release practitioner, soul collage, and healing Mandela facilitator with over 30 years of experience in guiding adults and children in therapeutic creative processes. She's also a trained Waldorf teacher, transformational artist, mother of 4, and grandmother of 2. Ellen lives in Carmichael, California, where she teaches classes, workshops, and sees clients in her home and also on the internet. Her soul talk is called From Freedom to Fear. Please put your hands together and welcome to Soul. From, did I say? That was my small self. Okay, that was my small self. Okay, just checking, testing. Are you listening? From fear to freedom, which is a lot better. Please welcome Ellen.
Okay. Hi. Yeah, hopefully it goes that way. Oh, I'm so pleased to be here today and honored to be with you. And thank you for coming out on this beautiful day to share soul talks with us. So I thought I'd start my talk with a little intuitive writing exercise that I did a little while ago because it says it all. I was given this little exercise that says, now you just ask yourself the question, why am I here? And then you put pen to paper and you don't stop for 5 minutes. And you don't think about it, you just write. And this is what came. I am here to shine, to expand, to thrive, to be fully alive. I am here to open to endless creative possibilities. I am here to hold sacred space, to allow others to open and reveal themselves to themselves and each other. I am here to nurture and nourish those that come into my sphere. I am here to help guide myself and others back to their wholeness. I am here to dance, sing, play, allow awakening through me. I am here to paint, sculpt, dabble, and create all sorts of things that delight and fulfill me. I am here to plant seeds of self-love and creative unfolding in the little ones. I am here to recognize the precious gifts I see in others and to help them bring them forth. I am here to help soothe the wounds from the past and teach tools to free and clear the stuck energy so that life can be lived in the present with ease and grace. I am here to breathe deep and to speak my truth. I am here to walk on precious Mother Earth and to be a part of her in her cycles and seasons. And I am here to show the way of going deep, deep inward, and shine the light of awareness so that the gold can be mined from those dark places. I'm here to be a lighthouse for my children that sometimes sail in treacherous waters. I'm here to hold the high watch and keep the vision of the beauty and goodness of each of my children. And I am here to love deeply and express it in every way I can. I'm here to feel what I feel and open the doors of my heart. Thank you. So, as JG said, I've been a teacher for over 30 years and mainly an art teacher and teaching parents and other teachers how to do art with children. And in the last 11 years, I've been working with healing modalities, and my favorite one is cellular memory release, because this is the very thing that JG was talking about. They're emotional literacy tools to help free us from what got stuck a long time ago. And if we knew how, we would have done it, but nobody taught us. So when I first heard the theme of heart to heart today, I asked myself what would be most valuable for me to share with you on my heart's journey. And it came quickly from fear to freedom, because I really did start out in the womb, like this little baby here. My poor mother was in fear, and she was in deep sadness because her husband had died, her first husband, not my father, and he was the love of her life. But she was told, you have to get on with it. You have to remarry, and you have to have another husband because we can't have widows with children around, you know. So she met my father, and she told us girls as we were growing up, I met your father so that you girls could be born. But we knew that she really didn't have a deep love for our father like she did her first husband. And somehow, as a little empath, which I was born as, little empath and highly sensitive little girl, I felt my mom's deep sadness and fear. And I said, ooh, I'm taking that on. That's mine to carry, so she'll be able to take care of me. And I did. I took it on big time. And I lived in incredible fear and incredible sadness, sort of from the beginning, which is a bit unusual because usually children are a bit more free and playful and joyful, and that was not my childhood experience. There were fun things about growing up in my house, and my beautiful sister is here in the front row. We used to dress up and dance to ballet on the stereo and dance to classical music, and we read all kinds of fun books to each other, and we did all sorts of art processes and went on picnics to the beach. And I had about every art supply that I could wish for because both of my parents loved the arts, and they were both sort of, they dabbled in the arts themselves. But it had to be done perfectly. And my father would make me make these little teeny pictures in the corner of my drawing as that's what it's going to look like in the end. Now you have to do that perfectly. So it wasn't exactly relaxing to do art when I was a little girl. So I have been seeking really all of my life. How do I heal from the traumas of the past and settle my nervous system so that I can breathe and speak and act freely? And how do I regain access to my life force and my vitality? Because all that fear and constriction, it makes us exhausted and heavy, and it's just hard to play in that state. And how do I regather the lost and injured parts of me so I can feel whole again? So that has been my quest. And I've come across some amazing tools. In 2000, I think it was 2001, I started The Artist Way with my partner, Reverend Penny Clement. A lot of you know her. I taught it for many years with her. And then I took it on teaching it by myself. And The Artist Way is a spiritual path to creativity. And it gives you tools to unblock yourself, because so many adults that come into my classes say, oh, I'm not creative at all. I can't even draw a stick figure. They all say that. And I go, I don't believe you. Because everybody is born a creator, like JG said. Everybody's born a creator. Now, little children know this. Little children, they make things out of nothing. They make play out of nothing. Watch a little 2-year-old playing in a puddle with a stick and stirring it up and throwing stones in it. And it's amazing. I take care of my little grandnephew, my sister's grandson, once a week. And he is my teacher. I watch him. I say, oh, what's he going to do next? Oh, okay, I'll come play with you. I'll do it with you. And it's the most inspiring and fun thing. And it shows me when we start out, we are actually free. We have access to divine creative source, and it's coming through us, and we just spontaneously express it. And we're naturally bubbly and affectionate, and we just show it and give it. But then something happens. Something happens. So, somewhere along the way, we stop ourselves, and we start to shrink, and we start to contract, and we suppress who we really are. We learn what our caretakers and our religious school teachers and our school teachers and our friends and the media tell us how we need to show up in order to be loved. And so we take it in like little sponges and we say, oh, that's how I have to be. And we create a false self. Now that false self is not a bad self. It's just a self that doesn't feel okay. And it's always trying to please in some way or another because we all want to be loved. And so the more we do this, the more we build up the pain body within us. The pain body is a term that Eckhart Tolle used in the book The Power of Now and A New Earth. And the pain body, I just want to read his quote because it's really powerful. The remnants of pain left behind by every strong negative emotion that is not fully faced, accepted, and then let go of, join together to form an energy field that lives in the very cells of our body. The old but very much alive emotions that live in almost every human being is the pain body. He says it's almost like an entity in itself. And every time we feel a strong emotion of something that feels uncomfortable to us, we're not taught to go, oh, I'm just going to embrace that. We're taught to go, ooh, I don't want to feel that. Run the other way. And oftentimes, let's suppress it with whatever your drug of choice is, whether it's TV, food, actual drugs, you name it. And so we are not educated to be with how we are. And that's what I spent a lot of my life looking for. If we could love ourselves just as we are and embrace whatever arises, letting go of hurt or pain as it happens instead of storing it in our bodies, what a different world it would be. Now, animals know how to do this. If there's a zebra out in the wild and a lion comes along and bites it, but it doesn't kill it, and the zebra collapses to the ground and the lion goes away, then when the zebra feels it's safe, it will stand up, it will look around, it will orient in the space, and then it will start shaking. Just shake, 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 just like a dog does when it comes out of the water. And it literally shakes off the trauma. Well, humans don't do that, except say there's a big natural disaster, and afterwards people were trembling, or a car accident, and people are trembling. When the rescue people come, they will try to sedate you and say, calm down, and they'll just, stop the trembling. Well, that trembling, that's what we're supposed to be doing. Shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. And if we could, then we don't store it. Okay, so what I've learned through the years is to be with what is, embrace it. Some people call it tend and befriend, and work with my nervous system and just go, okay, this is what's happening. I had a spiritual emergency when I was 22. It was a very unusual occurrence. I was staying with a group of people, and I was already very unstable and very alone and afraid. And they did a rebirthing process on me that went wrong. They didn't know what they were doing. And that rebirthing catapulted me into the spiritual world. And I had a split occur in which I was emotionally like a baby, but then I had very intense extrasensory perception. So I could hear what you're thinking, I could see your childhood, I could hear the language of the water and the birds and the insects, and I understood it all. And everything was symbolic. And it was a most amazing experience. Some of it was absolutely terrifying, and other parts were absolutely just rapturously beautiful. But when I got back to my parents' house, they were terrified. They didn't know what to do with me. So they put me in a psychiatric hospital. And for the next 3 months, I was drugged, isolated, sometimes put in restraints, and kept quiet. And it devastated me. So a lot of my life has been about how do I understand what happened to me? And now I know that I really was like a young shaman. I was a wounded healer. And that happens to shamans. They have some sort of intense emergency of their health, and they sort of shatter, and then they have to come back together and reintegrate. So much of my journey has been about collecting the tools to bring myself back together, and creativity has always gone along with it. So in teaching the artist way, I've gotten to play. And I want to just show you on this artist altar. So I was petrified of being afraid, of being angry is what I want to say. And I finally had a session in which my anger started coming up as if it was a volcanic, like lava. And I was really afraid that I was going to destroy the world. My throat chakra had been sealed, like, sorry. Yeah, like that, sealed. And during the session, it burst forth and it opened for the first time that I could ever remember, because we were always made to be quiet. And what I discovered was that that was my vital life force. That was my power. So the anger transformed, and it became, after a while, it became this amazing vitality that was just running through me, and it was emitting out of my third eye like this beautiful red star. It was like I was a radio station just beaming out love and who I truly was. And that's true for all of us. So what I love to do is be creative with people and to give them the safe space to let themselves be free enough to tune into your particular unique way that you download Divine Creative Source. And it's so exciting to see, because every person does it differently. And you don't have to be a great artist. You don't have to know how to paint or draw. You have that code within you. And all you have to do is listen, be very still, hear the messages, and let it come right out your hand. We're going to do a little bit of that later together. So I want to end with those two lines. I know that I'm here to create my life and to love whatever arises. I'm here to love deeply and express it in every way I can. I am here to feel what I feel and open the doors of my heart. Thank you.